What if the most perfect voice on the internet wasn't actually human? Tonight we are investigating a phenomenon that has divided the music industry and left millions of listeners in a state of disbelief. It started with a viral clip of a young girl from Wigan, England, whose vocal clarity was so precise. It triggered a massive wave of skepticism across social media. We've seen child stars before, but Lucy Thomas represents something entirely different. When she first appeared on the national stage at just 14 years old, the immediate reaction wasn't just applause, it was suspicion. Industry, insiders, and vocal coaches began dissecting her performances, with some claiming that no teenager could possess that level of breath control and tonal consistency without digital assistance. This Prodigy paradox is where our story begins. An era where autotune is the industry standard and AI-generated covers are flooding our feeds, Lucy Thomas became the target of a bizarre investigation by her own fans. They wanted to know if this was a genuine gift or a masterfully crafted marketing illusion. As her numbers climbed into the hundreds of millions, the questions only got louder. Was she a once-in-a-century talent, or was she the product of a sophisticated studio setup designed to manufacture the perfect, viral star? The tension between her undeniable talent and the cynical reality of the modern music business created a storm of speculation that she is only now beginning to address. The biggest mystery isn't why she's famous, it's why the industry tried to send her home. To understand the current controversy, we have to look back at the moment the world first rejected her. In 2018, Lucy Thomas stood on the stage of The Voice Kids, delivering performances that many believed made her the clear frontrunner for the title. However, in a move that still triggers heated debates in the comments sections today, she was eliminated in the semifinals. How does a vocalist of this caliber fail to win a talent competition? Our investigation into this semifinal scandal reveals a darker side of reality television. Speculation has long suggested that these shows aren't actually looking for the best singer, but the most marketable story. There are persistent rumors that Lucy was too polished for the show's format. She didn't provide the struggle or the growth arc that producers crave for ratings. By being too good, she allegedly made the competition look irrelevant. This rejection didn't stop her, but it did create a massive rift between her growing fanbase and the mainstream media machine. It raised the question, was she being gatekept by an industry that couldn't control her? Since that night, her path has been entirely independent, a shunning of the traditional path to stardom that many believe was a deliberate move to protect her from the predatory nature of major record labels. They said her recordings were faked, until she dropped the one song that no one can hide behind. The turning point in this investigation is a single performance that has now become legendary, Unchained Melody. For the skeptics who claimed her voice was a product of studio magic, this song was meant to be the smoking gun. Unchained Melody is notoriously difficult. It requires a range that exposes every flaw and a level of emotional maturity that most young singers simply lack. But when Lucy's version hit the internet, it didn't just silence the critics. It sent them into a frenzy of new theories. Looking closely at the footage, you see something rare. There are no cuts, no visible pitch correction artifacts, and no overproduced layering. It was raw, and it was devastatingly perfect. We spoke with several audio engineers who noted that the shocking element of this specific cover is her vibrato control, which usually takes decades to master. The controversy shifted from "is it fake?" to "how is this possible?" This performance became a digital battlefield. Some claimed it was a deepfake audio track, while others argued it was proof of a supernatural talent. The Unchained cover didn't just break the internet. It broke the narrative that she was just another manufactured pop star. It forced the world to reckon with the possibility that we were watching a master at work, trapped in the body of a teenager. While the world was listening, a secret war was being fought over who would own her future. Behind every angelic voice, there is often a devil in the details of a contract. As Lucy's Unchained Melody went nuclear, the vultures of the music industry began to circle. In our deep dive into her career path, we found evidence of a major strategic refusal. Most artists in her position would have signed their lives away to a global conglomerate for a quick payout. Yet, Lucy and her management stayed silent, remaining with an independent label. This sparked a new wave of rumors. Was she blacklisted by the majors for wanting too much creative control, or was she being hidden to maintain a specific mystery? This hidden battle for her career is what makes her story so compelling. We've seen countless child stars offed by the industry, not physically, but through the destruction of their passion and the commodification of their image. By staying independent, Lucy has avoided the typical pop star scandals, but it has also meant she has had to fight for every bit of airplay without the pay-to-play support of the big three labels. This independence is rare, and in the cutthroat world of professional music, it's often seen as a death wish. Yet, her numbers continue to outperform the biggest names in the business, proving that the gatekeepers might finally be losing their power. For 3 years, she was a ghost in the live circuit, and the rumors were getting dark. The most damning piece of evidence used against Lucy Thomas for years was her lack of live, public appearances. From 2020 to 2023, she was essentially a studio ghost. In the world of music journalism, this is usually a massive red flag. Critics whispered that she couldn't reproduce the magic in a room full of people. There were rumors of vocal health crises and claims that her parents were sheltering her from the reality of a live audience because she simply wasn't ready. This studio silence led to the most aggressive speculations yet, with some trolls even suggesting the person in the videos wasn't the person singing. We've looked into why an artist with her level of fame would avoid the touring lifestyle. The reality, as it turns out, was far more practical but no less controversial. She was being curated. In an industry that uses up young talent until they OD on fame or burn out, her team took a surgical approach to her career. They waited. They didn't rush the live shows, but that wait nearly cost her her reputation, as the faker accusations reached a fever pitch just before she announced her return to the stage. The moment of truth finally arrived in a crowded theater, and the exposed truth shocked everyone. The investigation into whether Lucy Thomas was a studio fraud came to a definitive end in late 2024 and early 2025. She didn't just do a small concert, she took on a lead role in the West End production of Rosie. This was the ultimate high-stakes move. In live theater, there is no auto-tune, no reset button, and no place to hide. Witnesses at the opening nights reported something revelatory. Not only was the voice real, but it was larger than the recording suggested. This West End revelation served as a total exposure of the skeptics. We've analyzed the audience recordings and the professional reviews, and the consensus is unanimous. The perfection people feared was artificial was actually just pure, disciplined skill. But this success brought a new set of challenges. Transitioning from a YouTube cover artist to a serious actress is a path filled with conflicts and industry jealousy. Some theater purists were reportedly SHT out of luck when they tried to claim she was just an influencer invading their space. She proved that she could hold a stage for 2 hours, a feat that many manufactured pop stars couldn't dream of achieving. As she enters her 20s, the industry is terrified of what she will do next. As we conclude our look into the rise of Lucy Thomas, we have to ask, what happens to a prodigy when they grow up? History is littered with untold stories of child stars who couldn't make the transition, but Lucy seems to be breaking the mold. Recent speculations suggest she is moving toward more original content, stepping away from the covers that made her a household name. This is a dangerous move for any creator. If she changes her sound, will her massive audience stay? There are rumors of a major cinematic collaboration on the horizon, potentially involving a high-profile film soundtrack. This would put her in direct competition with the titans of the industry. The shocking reality is that at an age when most people are just starting their careers, Lucy Thomas is already a veteran of the digital age. She has survived the rigged systems of reality TV, the accusations of being a digital fraud, and the pressure of independent success. The question isn't whether she can sing. We've exposed that she clearly can. The question is whether the music industry is ready for an artist who doesn't need them to succeed. Is Lucy Thomas a glitch in the matrix, or the blueprint for the future of music? We are left with a thought-provoking conclusion to this investigation. In a world where we are constantly being lied to by filters, AI, and corporate marketing, Lucy Thomas represents a disruptive force of authenticity. Her Unchained Melody wasn't just a song, it was a declaration. It challenged us to believe in raw talent again. But as she moves forward, the mysterious nature of her career remains. She doesn't participate in the toxic social media cycles of other stars. She doesn't expose her private life for clout. This silence is her greatest strength, but it's also what keeps the rumor mill churning. Will she stay the angelic singer the world fell in love with, or will she shock us all with a total reinvention? One thing is certain, the world is still speechless, not just because of how she sings, but because of the untold story of how she survived the machine. What do you think? Is she the last of her kind, or is she just getting started? The answer might be hidden in the next note she hits.